On this episode, we begin the crossover series. It's important to have watched the introduction to power skating, where we stress the importance of the push and 1 foot balance. Moving 1 foot balance on a circle is preferred, but the first part of this video will show you beginning and advanced exercises to be more comfortable standing on 1 foot and getting more speed and flow with your crossover, and eventually working up towards the forward cross roll by the end of the series. As with any good series, we'll start from the beginning and progress our way up through more advanced skills. We need to learn these first steps so that we can be more comfortable when we get to the end. For this first exercise, we're going to start from a standstill, pointing both toes forward and moving your V arms towards the hips you want to skate towards. Pick up the opposing foot and knee and step over. After the step down, pick up the standing leg to switch feet. Hold for a second before you move the foot over. Now you're back at a neutral position. Repeat this cross step until your 1 foot balance starts improving, but remember to keep your toes pointed forward. You don't want to start rolling away while you're working on this. The advanced version of this is crossing over wider to stretch your ankle flexibility. After the wide step, bend the crossing knee, tilting the standing foot towards the ground. Transitioning your weight completely onto the new foot allows your ankle to tilt down and truly push. The under push is normally overlooked and hopped in a majority of people skating. Common mistakes for this advanced version is stretching too far, making it difficult to collect the feet together. And be sure to practice these exercises both directions. Now that we have practiced walking your feet over each other from a standstill, we start moving on a circle. With your V arms facing the circle, with speed, walk your crossovers just like you did from a standstill, omitting the push for now. When the foot crosses, immediately pick up the standing foot and step back to neutral, progressively holding 1 foot glides longer until you can isolate each without falling down onto the next foot. Stop, turn around and work on the other direction too. Practice tip would be keep your spine centered over your skating foot like we discussed in the power skating. With improved 1 foot balance on the circle, we can start adding in the push. From a standstill or a little speed, open the foot away from the circle and push at a 45-degree angle, immediately picking up the pushing foot and walking it over the crossover. Hold each 1 foot glide isolation. A practice tip, keep the timing slow. You will start picking up speed fast. Hold a 2 foot glide between every cross to control your speed. Stay down in the knees. It's difficult to cross your feet and knees when they're locked upright. And common mistakes, moving your V arms away from the circle. You don't want to pump the arms like a speed skater just yet. Learn the feet and keep the shoulders isolated towards the circle. With the first push locked in, we can start learning the second under push. After the crossover, hold both feet on the ground, both toes pointing in the same direction. Move your spine over to the crossing foot and tilt your standing foot towards the ground. Keep your heel pressed in your boot for the under push and pick up the foot immediately after the push. Hold and bring back to the side to get ready for the next cross. The better you tilt the ankle towards the ground, the better you can grip to push. Common mistakes here is separating the feet more than you're comfortable. You'll push more when you get better balance on 1 foot on the circle. Now we can add these 2 pushes together. Our goal is to be able to push from 1 foot to another without a 2 foot transition. After the first cross, don't just step down into the next push. Lean away from the circle, holding your second 1 foot glide. Bring your heels together, bend your knees, then push. Isolating each 1 foot glide before every knee bend push. A common mistake would be falling or stepping down onto the next foot without a knee bend prep and push. Isolate and keep your timing under control. If you can do this slowly, it'll be easier to speed up the rhythm later when you need it, and remember to work both directions on the circle evenly. Once we're comfortable crossing over both directions, we start to think about alternating from one circle to another. Think back to our alternating power pushes. Your V arms control where you want to go. Face your arms over the hip and cross. Once you hit a 2-foot glide after the first crossover, move your arms to neutral as discussed in the power skating videos. Move your arms over to the next hip as you bend your knees to push. In the next video, we'll work on different alternating crossover transitions and start the exercises for backward crossovers.